Today is June 27th. It's a Saturday, 7:39 in the morning. My name is Jeffrey Vieira, also called Mr. V. I am joined with my buddy across the island. You are Sir.
Ciao! Jack.
And this is The Board State. Episode 35, I believe. We did quite a few of these.
Yep. It's
All right.
almost big.
And we are a gaming development news source for social good. It's kind of a cool topic, I think.
Yeah. Going to have to apologize for missing last week's. We have been overflooded with projects and we just couldn't be found the time. We're sorry about that, guys or gals.
Well, also you were regenerating, right?
Yeah, kind of went into a surgery. They poked and prodded at me, but I'm still okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for that. We may have another break next Saturday. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so what we do on the board state is we go through game development articles and gaming news that stood out for us in the previous week. In this case, the past 2 weeks. And then we pick 5 of them, put them in a Google Doc, and showcase them for you listeners. So the first article of today is by techrepublic.com, and this is DeepMind sets AI loose on diplomacy game, and collaboration is the key. What are your thoughts on this, Jack?
Honestly, we're gonna see more articles, more research papers talking about artificial intelligence, especially in our field. It's gonna be probably the most impactful in game development as a whole, if not already is. And so, just by having AIs do like diplomacy games could allow us to understand even more on diplomacy than we could understand now. Because having other perspectives will always help us in the end. For example, making games about this pandemic really allow game developers to show their dismay or their emotions going through this, whether they just gotten forced out of the job or they just lost a loved one due to this pandemic. It shows in their creations, and having AI basically have their own spin on it will only produce more creativity.
Bro, yeah. What is my follow up to that? No, you're absolutely right. Like fresh eyes on an old problem, right? So this article really is a, like, in my opinion, like is a clarion call for collaboration. AI has proven in the past to be the best at zero sum games like chess and Go, like that. And for you listeners that don't know what zero sum means I win, you lose, or you win, I lose. We don't win together. However, as the article points out, our day-to-day lives involve an intricate patchwork of balanced synergies or individual needs, often packaged with a larger group effort. And collaborative games require a more nuanced strategy than just zero sum. Cooperation games really, I mean, I really love cooperation games, especially cooperation games where there's still one person that can essentially quote unquote win, right? Where there's like a victory point method where we all finish the game together, but one of us does a little bit better. And so in this article, they really showcase that without cooperation, nothing gets done. No man can essentially move an island by himself. Maybe a solo AI can, though. but it uses diplomacy as an example of, because diplomacy is sort of a very Machiavellian game. Have you played it recently, Jack? Diplomacy?
No, I've been trying to, but I couldn't get online, couldn't
Okay.
get into a lobby.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's just to talk a little bit about the diplomacy. Diplomacy is a very nasty game.
Hmm.
It's really, in my opinion, like how Monopoly is the, your friends become enemies type of game, essentially, right? The
Hmm.
diplomacy is really kind of taken that place in terms of like popularity and accessibility. And yeah, it's a great article. It really highlights why cooperation matters. Like I said, cooperate this article is a clarion call for cooperation and using AI as a means of proving it.
So this also brings up a topic of what type of like restrictions should the AI not learn. For example, the concept of diplomacy as a game is pretty big. Just saying, like, I don't want to go into Skynet within the
Let's
next
build
year.
let's build let's have this AI game where we build nuclear weapons. Yeah. Let's see how good they are at launching nuclear weapons, right? Or let's build this let's have a game where AI just like makes this capitalism monster and just runs all these businesses to the ground. Let's see what AI does with that. Yeah, that's a good point, Jack.
I mean, I do like Terminator, but I do not want to be leading a resistance faction to go up against an AI that we kind of started.
Cool as fiction, not as nonfiction.
Yeah.
Right?
Then
All
again,
right.
nonfiction is getting real though.
Yeah. Nonfiction tends to be always weirder, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So next article is by. Oh, sorry. So that was by Tech Republic, I think.
Yep,
Yeah,
Tech Republic.
Tech Republic. Okay. Next article is on GamesTogether.com. And this is really cool, man. So this is register for open dev, leave your mark on humankind. Jack, are you okay over there? You guys can't see him on the screen, but he's like jumping up and down. What are your thoughts on this, Jack?
Oh my god, my mouth is not working. Okay, so I love these games. I want to support it, but I'm broke as hell, so I love them. But this game is basically doing a lot of things that we support individually, but on a massive scale,
Hmm?
on a
Yeah,
single project. And
yeah.
so this company, which is Games Together, basically made a lot of other games like Endless Space and Endless Legends. And their new IP coming up is Humankind. And this is basically, if you ever have played Civilization or Hearts of Iron 4, and the building mechanics of your nation and the diplomacy mechanics of your nation, take that and added more depth into it and more creative ideas and new concepts being developed on the fly. And that's basically the new IP, which is Humankind. But the main thing we wanted to spotlight is that the community will have a direct role on game mechanics and overall opinion of the game.
So awesome.
Yoshiki.
No,
Oh
that's
yeah.
amazing. That's super amazing.
Yeah, I know. So, and they're coming out with basically three different scenarios for different types of players. Towers of Babylon is basically you're starting at a civilization at its peak. And though you may have your own opinions on like nations and oh my nation should be representative, you actually have an opportunity to do so because the community is so open and it's so rich. You could recommend like espionage or you could do other things. This game is basically an open canvas that if you want to get into the game development scene but have you don't want to do it like professionally, this is like a good jumping off point.
I'm laughing because like I think this is like quintessential Jack article. Like the only thing missing from here is they're not from Poland or something like that. Like
It's not the U.S. military.
No. But like this is like so you, right? Like open source civilization esque, Hearts of Iron kind of like style game where the community says, okay, this is what I want this next level or this next scenario or this next map to be, and then they put that in the game. That's yeah. Anyway, you should sign up for this. I definitely did. And you should too, listeners. So starting June 13th, register and get a chance to access 3 time-limited scenarios focused on specific core features of the game. Each scenario concludes with a game design survey that will help our dev team level up the game. And so each of those scenarios will be accessible within 4 days, and then they'll like fade out or roll out. But it's free. Like all this is free. So please sign up, guys. This is an amazing project.
I will be making my guild called the Hawaiian League, and we're gonna be conquering everybody who doesn't join the league. So never.
Oh, so brutal. Okay, so yeah, please check that out. Games Together. Thank you, Jack, for that. GamesTogether.com, the Open Dev project. Next article is by xdadevelopers.com, and this is Google Maps platform is now legally open for game developers to make Pokemon Go like experience. And before I pass the mic over to you, I'll just re-emphasize the legally. I just want to mention that a certain teacher at a certain school on the west coast of Oahu, in the beginning part, may have used a No. It has been rumored that before this became open source, that there was a game made based on this engine or platform rather. Jack, your thoughts on this?
The floodgates are open. I'm not joking. The floodgates are open. Now game developers have access to Google Maps. The floodgates are open. Now you're gonna see different types of games, and not just like Pokemon Go. You could literally find like Monster Hunters or high school animes now.
Yeah.
You could make whatever you want, and I appreciate that Google is now doing this, especially now as more people is deciding to you know what, I've been in my house too long, I want to go outside. So game developers now have an opportunity, and a great, very much so, whether you're board gaming, ARG, or wherever you may be, to get into this market, no matter how low experience or how high experience bar you have. And so it's going to be interesting because you're going to have a lot of games where they're just cookie cutter ripoffs of Pokemon Go. That's always going to happen. But through that, you're going to find games where it's basically their own unique take and their own unique stories. For example, for the mobile strategy genre, there is a company called EasyTech, and EasyTech basically makes turn-based strategy games on mobile devices. And so, but you won't see it because most of the strategy mobile games are focused on Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, these big names in the industry. So it's going to be interesting, and I have faith that it will lead to even more opportunities overall in the industry.
Yeah, this is what you want to do when you want to see innovation on a type of thing, right? You give it to the people to take that technology and go with it, like we've seen in Minecraft and Dreams and things like that. It's the community that really moves it forward. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. I just wish we had time to really play around with this and legally now.
So, my question to you, Ms. V, about this is that
yes, sir.
Do you think Google did this in the hopes to gain more people back on Google Maps, because there has been other maps apps that has been gaining more and more interest.
Dude, probably, right? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Uh, that's that. Yeah, I have no counter argument against that. That's definitely possible.
Yep. Well,
All right. So the source is Google Cloud's blog, and this is by xdadevelopers.com. Google Map platform is now open for game developers to make Pokemon Go-like experiences. All right, next article is by Vice.com, one of my favorite sites, and the title is "A Psychologist Explains Why We're All So Obsessed with Board Games Once Again." And dear listeners, let me just say that you just need to ignore that image that's showing up, the hero image of this website. There's a game that I mentioned briefly, but I don't really want to talk about again. Jack, your thoughts on this?
honestly, even you don't have to read, you don't have to go into this article for knowing what it says, because we cover a lot of these same articles,
Yeah, that's pretty much what
mostly
I was
on
going to say.
Gaming Sutra. On
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, we don't have a Gaming Sutra article for this week. Sorry about that, guys. But uh, this is basically talking about what we already know. It's gamers are leading the charge on every field, including psychology now, because
Mm,
a lot more people is now realizing that games are now the movies of today and of the
mhm.
future.
Yep.
More, you have more options, you have more opportunities, and you have more ideas coming out of a single game. For example, the Cyberpunk just released a Netflix series coming out, and the game still haven't came out. And so basically, you're having all of these potential markets and all of these potential ideas within this one genre. Well, they're now realizing that gamers will lead in the future, whether it be leadership or backroom dealings. No matter what, a lot of the concepts games are teaching you, whether it's be through Call of Duty or diplomacy, gives you more insight into the real life.
Yeah. This is another Why Do Board Games Matter article backed up with credentials.
Yeah.
Right? Moreover, why do board games have a deep connection to the psyche, offer up therapy in these times of strife,
So,
both with immediate and long-term healing of the mind. And oh, go ahead.
oh no, no.
Oh, uh, and this is something that we know. We play a lot of gaming, games, board gaming, video games, whatever. So this is something that we inherently understand. That, there's definitely a difference between when we play games and when we don't play games, especially with our mental state. But I mean, as you know, we've been working on dozens of projects. We still we're still on call with people that are like, wait, what? Games? Really? Like games can do that? So I picked this one, and because I think it's something that we just want to keep spamming to the world, because there is still some people out there that are like, wait, what do you mean? Games are not just to play, and I mean certainly they are. That is definitely an aspect of the games, but these are powerful tools to use for
Mhm.
teaching, therapy, education, understanding complex abstract systems. And yeah, and this article is really highlights that in relation to not just this predicament that we're in with this whole coronavirus thing, but also why games matter, right?
But- So, but I will also say that we have not been receiving any negative news like credentials or like articles recently also.
Mm, you know what? That's a really good point, Jack.
So most likely some of them will be coming on here just because of the trendiness of it, but a lot of them are now realizing that all of what they say before is either invalid or is no longer valid due to the
Wow.
new world we're living in. I mean, look at Twitch, for example, and Mixer. Those news are now big headlines on regular news
Yeah.
channels.
Yeah.
But that before the
Right.
pandemic, nobody gave a beep about Mixer last time I checked.
Wow. We don't know about Jack. No, but you know what? Dude, that is such a strong point that you just made there. I mean, what is the negative gaming news that you hear about now? Pokimane is revealing too much butt and cleavage on Twitch. Like that is the extent of like,
Mm-hmm.
bad game. Oh, and there is some Last of Us 2, crying, blah blah, whatever. But I mean, like, there's no like mass shootings are done because of
Mm-hmm.
first person shooters, right?
Right.
You don't hear like any of that stuff now, and I think that definitely supports your thesis there, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Good observation.
Well, and just know Vice News will be unbiased, so don't worry.
They are not biased, dude. Oh,
No, I'm saying they're unbiased.
that's like
Unbiased.
saying, oh, okay, well, they,
Now you're showing bias because you went against me. You do realize.
I love Vice is my people, man. Let me just say that Vice is my people, and they often. I'm sorry, I think I heard you wrong, but they often get the rap of being far too left, right? Because of the way they look, the way they dress, the music they listen to, whatever. But like, yeah, okay, we're not gonna go into that. All right, moving on.
Sorry, listeners.
So, thank you. All right, moving to that. That was a psychologist. Let's focus. A psychologist explains why we're all so obsessed with board games once again. Once again, like all of a sudden. All right, Vice.com. Next article. Oh, this is an exciting article. Next article and the last article of our day is going to be Poland is first. It's not is the Poland is first government worldwide to add video game to official school reading list as an educational resource, and this is by EuropeanGaming.eu. Jack, what is this article about?
Bossy, Poland shrunk.
Is that what they say?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
That's not their motto. Poland is strong.
Second thing is that more governments will have to adapt eventually. And Poland being the first really puts it up there already. And with like Cyberpunk becoming its like national icon, it is amazing, and I am ashamed to be an American for this one part because this is showcasing what we want as gamers as a whole want basically games to be seen as important as the same level as mathematics or language. Because games will offer mathematics, language, algebra, English, French, whatever you may want to add. Games have that accessibility to it and also a new creative teaching methods to it. And by Poland basically being the first, they could really set the bar up very high for like Japan or Israel, who is trying to get on to gaming as much as they can and try to take the loot and basically boost them up. So it is super interesting, even if it doesn't succeed at first, just as a case study for other nations to follow.
Yeah.
Because the nations who sees this, I mean, worst case scenario, say this program divulge and dipples. It won't fail because no way you could Poland, no way it could fail.
Poland's strong.
But it may divulge or they differ. Then other nations will take note and realize that and make their own programs to be at that same level or excel, creating new game developers, new ideas into the industry, like musicians, gaming artists, all these new concepts will be reinforced with a new manpower. And thanks to Poland, now they have a new economic source that they could tap into.
Yep.
They don't have to rely on tourism. They don't have to rely on military or medical. Now they have this. So now they're gonna be a economic competitor compared to Germany. Reason why it's on European Gaming.eu and not on Poland.
Wow.
Because
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, because this is basically Poland's. This is just like a stepping stone where Poland will be like waving its flag everywhere.
Okay, so before looking at this article, what do we know about gaming? Makes the most money in the entertainment sphere, right? Like
Yeah.
just far surpasses movies and whatever. Both board game and video. If you were to combine them both together, right, is a viable esport, right? We're seeing like sold out stadiums in other countries that are reeling in millions and millions of dollars, far surpassing football and whatever. Is also in our opinions, the best method for articulating abstract systems, right? Building a game around it to understand its working mechanisms. Okay, now there's way more stuff. We'll just stick with that. Now, this country is now focusing on these factors here by including game development as part of the recommended reading lists for schools, and just integrating it into the culture, so you're not going to get any negative stigma at all, because now it's just part of everyday living and everyday learning. So what's going to happen? I mean, other than the last learning using gaming as learning, which is fantastic, but they're probably already doing that. You're going to see content. I mean, we are already seeing amazing content coming out of Poland, but exponentially amazing games are just going to start flying out of that country. Like, oh my, and it's just going to eclipse, probably, I would imagine, eclipse, because now you have government backing, which means funds, right? Which means resources and things like that are going to be going into all these programs.
So, and I know people are afraid of government backing or government funds, but
that's our government, not other countries' governments.
No,
sorry.
But overall, there is still a fear, and so basically, if any big country that would have done this, I may have my doubts. But in Poland, a lot of the games that came out are both left and right, no matter how you see it, and it both could be historically accurate to let's have a fun day in the beach. Like, they already have like a wide range of games and concepts already developed, and just by putting the foot in the ring before there's even a ring to be built, they're gonna basically produce leaders now.
Poland strong.
Yeah. I highly encourage any listener, if they have the funds, to head towards Poland. No. Like, if you're interested in gaming development, go to Poland as like a 3-day research study to just gain more information. Cause like these news articles are just like a taste of the iceberg that Poland is doing right now.
All right. So that is Poland is the first government worldwide to add video game to official school reading list as an educational resource. European Gaming. .eu. Okay, so that's going to do it for our articles for today.
We're going to space.
At the end of our show, we like to select one listener question and do our best to answer that. So today's question is by Alex, and he starts with Aloha. Right on. Aloha, Board State. I'm a 13-year-old boy living in California, Irvine, and I want to introduce my parents to board games. I play modern board games. My favorite is Agricola, very cool, and I would love to spend time with my mom and dad during this COVID thing. How do you recommend I introduce them into board games? Thanks, Alex. How do you introduce your? So just put yourself in your own shoes, Jack. You're like a little young pup again, 13 years old. You've got some games and you want to play. You want to introduce your mom into gaming, and you'd love to play a game with your mom and her family.
So there's actually 5 ways I did it,
Whoa,
but
5 ways.
I'm gonna do the two that actually was successful for me.
Okay.
The first one was playing a game that they already know to heart, but
Mhm.
also playing this game using alternate rules. For example,
Ah, you're so smart.
my mom, my dad, and everybody in my family, including myself, plays trumps. Trumps are basically you have a suit and you're trying to make the most packs. Or spoons. Well, you have to make 4 of a set. Once a person does, you grab an item, wherever it may be, and then whoever doesn't grab an item gets out of the game, and you continue it till last man wins or last score wins.
Uh-huh.
So, and you could alter these rules to where, oh, every time you make a suit or on a pack, you basically have to say a truth or dare. Or every time you
Mm.
play goldfish, instead of saying goldfish, you have to say a weird something you did weird once.
Mm.
That's something I did with my mom, and we got more close because of that.
Mm.
The goldfish part, not the saying a truth every time you do a pack, because then that would have got me slaps at the ending of the game. So, and even if you don't want to alter the rules, just playing those games that they know and have them teach you how they used to play will allow you to experience their childhood from their eyes. Because somebody must have taught them how to play, like how they're teaching you how to play. So just grab a cards, like a 52 stack of cards, and playing cards with them is one of the best ways. The second route is basically I a lot of my cousins hated board gaming in general. A lot of my cousins hated the idea of not going on the Xbox. And now, so but I wanted to play board games with them. So I got them interested in a subject what we all are interested in, which is Star Wars. And that's the second way. Find something that you like and your parents like, or whoever that may be, and just playing a game from that. And you can, it could be a bad game or it could be an awesome game. No matter what, those memories are now more straightened because you are sharing something that you enjoy outside of gaming now into gaming. And even if it's a bad game, for example, the first time we played X-Wing, Star Wars X-Wing, we did it the worst way possible. And yet we still have that memory, but we still played the game.
Mm.
And we still talk about X-Wing, we still make decisions because of that experience we had. And so all of these things will only strengthen your bond emotionally with them. And if not, then it will only allow you to have new understanding about them.
Wow. I don't know what I'm gonna say now. He stole on my thunder. No, so you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Um, so for me, if I was to answer this question, I would actually say the second part for me, like your point two, I think it was, where you find something that they're kind of into, right?
Mhm.
So like, I don't know, my dad, my playing games with my dad would be a little difficult. I'd have to pick maybe like a mountain biking game or just some type of extraneous physical type of game. But yeah, some kind of like Summit or something like that. I have to play a board game like that. so it's immediately accessible, right? Like, oh,
Right, right.
it's think of it like it's really the same way if you wanted to introduce like a movie to your parents, right? You would, type of movie that you think they would like to watch. What is that movie about? What is that game about? And then have that be the gateway, the bridge for them to try that game out. And I would also say, obviously, pick something a little bit lighter so that you don't have to explain the rules for 45 minutes to them, right? Because they're gonna check out. Yeah, so I would say that would be the best way. Agricola, I would say, unless your parents are like horticulturalists or farmers, may not be the best game to introduce them into gaming.
I actually have a counterpoint.
Okay.
You could play whatever game you want. All you have to do is simplify the rules. That also means it's gonna be pace and messy, yeah, but allowing them to have that experience.
Yeah. Yes.
It's also good.
Yeah. So that's how we demo games, right? So if we're like, I used to do a lot of game demos at Armchair Adventure, and a lot of these are heavier games, like really, really heavy games that again would take you an hour to learn to really know how to play. And what we would do is we would kind of have like a tutorial mode where most of the game mechanics were like turned off and the core game mechanics were still there, just so they could get a feel for the game and play a couple of rounds as a means of like getting an understanding of what that game's about, almost like a trailer movie, right? You're not seeing the whole movie, you're seeing a trailer of it, as a means of like getting to know the game. But you could basically keep playing just like you were alluding to, where you could change the mechanics in a way where it's still the game, it's still like the core functionality, but you could take out, the eighth or ninth, seventh, eighth or ninth thing you could do on a turn, right? And then so that they could get started playing and enjoy the game. Yeah, that's a really good counterpoint, Jack.
And heck, if it goes messy, then that will be a good experience on its own, because now all of you have a joking memory of when you tried to play this game and it nearly busts itself open.
Yep. All right, so that's going to do it for our show today. Jack, if somebody wants to send us some questions, poetry, or comments, where can they do that?
They could send us at thedailycrafters@gmail.com. Wait, is that the right one?
It's not the right
one. My god, I keep on doing this.
Okay. It's okay. Where else can they reach us, Jack?
theboardstate@gmail.com.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why, it's I think you keep slipping up, is because theboardstate@gmail is our game development internal site, right, where we all the gaming stuff we're working on.
Also, if you want to support us financially, we do have one game on the market. It's called the Depression Game. You can find that on thedailycrafters.com.
There's actually two. There's actually Hooli's on there too now.
Oh, nice.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, Hooli's done and completed. Yeah.
The Depression game is and the Depression game is more financially stable. So.
Yes. Like $10.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hooli's like $80 or something like that.
It's not going to places.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's gonna do it. Thank you all for listening. Have a fantastic week. Talk to you.